Good evening. All right, let's have a look here. Let's see what's going on. Hello, Gregory. Hello, Ich bin so. And hello, Necessary. Let's have a look here. I'm just checking in the chat here. It's a completely different format working back here on YouTube compared to Rumble. I'm getting more and more used to Rumble, and then coming back here to YouTube, it feels very weird. It feels very, very strange. Yep, well, we're here. I mean, it's working. I can see that there's a signal. I can see that folks are here. That's great, thank you. I sent out a little email blast earlier. It was a recommendation from Necessary. Thank you. Very, very good idea. And I'm pretty certain that Tina is going to be here as well. And, what was it? And Karen Clark over in New Zealand. So let me just make a note here before I forget. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with readings, but I know we've got... I had a reply from Karen over in New Zealand, Karen Clark. Got a reply from Robin's Realms Readings over there in, is it Texas? And Gregory Ross, okay. And of course also Necessary Truth. And Ich bin so. That's Germany, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. And hello, Psychic Medium Rebecca. Oh no, you're kidding! Ubasti's purr. Wow. Yeah, you've had all sorts of different names over the years. I can't remember all of them. I'm sure I've got them in a sort of old email list or something. Psychic Medium Rebecca. My gosh, it's been years. Ubasti was the name of a cat, if I'm correct. I can't remember. But yeah, if I'm correct, yeah. And you're still probably very psychic. Robin is a psychic. Necessary is a psychic. We got all the psychics here. I like it. I like that. It's Psychic Medium Rebecca. Rebecca K. That's fine. It's fine. It works very well. You know, people go round and round in circles. Oh, what are we going to call the channel? Sometimes it's just the most simple thing you can imagine, and it kind of goes, you go in circles and circles and circles. You end up back with the simplest thing. So yeah, if it works. Psychic Medium Rebecca. So anyway, I was urged to come back Sunday night and do a couple of readings for folks. I already got a booking from Necessary Truth, and I'll tell you what she wants in just a second. I got to check a couple technical things here to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly and that the show will have a chance of surviving. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Hold on. We've got more. What? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta check. Give me a moment, folks. I'm just double checking everything here. Okay, yeah. There's Karen. And there's Robin. Okay. And okay, there's NT, got that. Okay, I'm going through these live, so just bear with me. Mr. Ross, yeah, okay, so we've got a booking already for Necessary Truth and Mr. Ross. Thank you very much. I can probably handle one more, maybe even two. Let's just double check things here. We got a new, what's this? We got new, hello, Claude Lausanne. Lausanne. That sounds French. Oh, hold on. It says, okay, let me just read the message here. I enjoy your astrology video. It would seem that astrologically the month of May's alignments suggest that this is when the economy could collapse. Well, yeah, would it be possible for you to do a May reading on this topic and post it on your channel? Thank you so much. Well, wow. May astrological observations. Okay, so, gosh, I'm going to have to... Okay, so thank you, Claude, for reaching out. I better put a note about that. As you can see, I'm just making notes to myself here. You know, I'm a little out of practice doing the TarotLumination on YouTube because it's a completely different thing now. So, Claude, you're talking about the shows that I do with the astrology over on Rumble, and you're interested in a May report regarding the economy. Well, I can already kind of assure you that there's some pretty scary stuff coming up. Claude, May economy on Rumble. Okay, so yeah, we can definitely do that. And let me just take another one here. Ambrose Rogers. Okay, let's have a look. This is a new contact submission. Hello. Hello, hey. Please get back to me. I will do so. Ambrose. Okay. RSVP. Okay, I will take care of that after the show. So these are not directly related to this evening. So maybe it's just because I just clicked open a live stream and people are getting the links or the notifications. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but anyway, thank you for being here. It makes me feel kind of honored. Okay. All right, so let's, okay, we already got a booking here. Let me just go to the stage for a minute. Hold on. We've already got a booking for Necessary Truth. It's going to be interesting. It's not really a personal one. It's one of those more global things that she loves to do. And we've got a booking from Mr. Gregory Ross. Thank you, sir. So we will come to that. So we've got two bookings. I can probably handle one more if anyone's interested. We'll go from there. All right, so I got my notes here. Ambrose, I will get back to you. Thank you for contacting me. And Claude Lasson, we will explore May. And you're probably thinking about the Taurus energy and Uranus and Taurus getting ominously closer to the crisis points. Let's have a look. Let me just check for a moment here. May. Let's have a look at Uranus. Well, Uranus is in Taurus for sure. And when you get to 27.5 degrees, it is a bit of a crisis point. The real crisis point is going to come more towards the end of June. But honestly, we're already building up to it, okay? So it's going to be interesting, Claude. Thank you for asking. All right, I got a cup of tea that I got underway here. Yes. Now, Karen, she's over in New Zealand, so I hope she gets the link soon. I told her it would be about 5 p.m. Pacific time when we get rolling. Robin, you're in America, so I'm sure you're fine. You've already kind of clicked on. You already know the deal. Ich bin, you must be in Germany if you said you woke up in the middle of the night. Cheers, everybody. Oh, boy. This is a delicious, like cinnamon apple herbal tea. Very refreshing. Doesn't have to be stimulating or anything like that. It's just very fragrant and refreshing. So I'm going to put this aside. And I just want to hang out for a few moments before we actually dive in. Hope you don't mind. Okay, let's go over here. So some of you overlap. Some of you come to visit on the Rumble, and some of you visit on the YouTube. I mean, we had the YouTube for almost 8 years, really 8 years. I mean, I'm still here, but the glory days were over long ago. And we're surviving on vapor, but that's okay. It's just, things are the way they are, you know, and we have to grow and adapt and evolve. Some of you, especially Gregory, know that I've been moaning and groaning about YouTube for years and how I was found guilty before even having a chance to prove my innocence. And even when I did find ways to present my innocence, I was denied. So, doof, you know what? All right. This is America, folks. You are innocent until proven guilty. My accusers they got away with it. They basically got away with it. And they destroyed the channel from its glory days. But we still have a pulse. Yep. Okie dokie. Wow. All right, so where are we here? I'm sure some of you are aware that we're going through some very profound moments in human history. On the absolute global scale, it's nothing. It's just absolutely nothing. It's just another cycle of the planets whizzing around our solar system. It's just another day. I was watching some footage today of an independent space operations company that works with NASA, but of course it's not actually NASA. And so this space company, I've forgotten the name of it, but they are much more affordable and much more efficient, and they got the job done. And they just completed a lunar landing of a device, and it was pristine. And it's all about doing lunar research and trying to jumpstart lunar research for basically business, corporate moon harvesting of whatever that means. You know, are there precious metals? Are there special rare earths? Things like that. Are there aliens? Are there the deep tunnels and caves inside the craters and mysterious creatures from other realms moving around? You've probably seen all sorts of wacko footage, and believe whatever you want. I'm just observing and just sharing. So that was pretty spectacular. In terms of drama, the most spectacular thing you've probably seen, of course, is to do with America regarding Ukraine and Russia and Europe and all that kind of stuff. And as I was doing my homework today, I have come across a few things that are so shocking to me, they're actually frightening, and I've been feeling butterflies accordingly. So anyway, I'll have to share this. See, normally I would be here, if this was not a Sunday, I would be here ranting, going absolutely berserk on the astrology that I'm witnessing today and how it correlates to global events. Tonight here, of course, it's all very, very personal. It's very personal, okay? It's the tarot. It's the mystery of tarot. But I do love doing my global astrology shows. I have a lot of fun, and I'm noticing that some people enjoy it. Anyway, you know, if I start talking about all this stuff, I'm going to dig myself into a big black hole. So I think I will avoid it altogether, and I'll find a way to vent so that I don't explode, and so that I can just get through the day and get over to tomorrow without being this sort of shaken up by the astrology and the correlations with the global events. By the way, now we're talking about a little bit about astrology. Let me go over here again. Just to mention here, this new person just signed up with an email today, and his name's Claude Lawson. And there's also a fellow Ambrose Rogers. So I have to reply to them. And Claude is asking for some, illumination regarding the world economy in May. And so we're going to look at that. But before we get there, we're going to go through some major astrological convulsions. So I just want to give you a bit of a heads up. This is just for your astrology calendars, but it's for the whole world. It's for everybody, even if you don't care at all about astrology. Over here, we are right now. It's the 2nd of March right here. I know you can't really see it very well, but anyway, that's the 2nd of March right there. And today, Venus goes retrograde in Aries, okay? In a few days, Mercury's going into Aries, and then about 10 days after that, Mercury's going retrograde in Aries, and then back to Pisces. So it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. And right in the middle, we have 2 eclipses. Kerblam. Here's the first one, okay? It is a full moon eclipse. It's on March 14th. We will have the sun in Pisces, 23 degrees, and the moon in Virgo, 23 degrees. And it's going to be very much associated with the revelations of even more squalid, evil, disgusting stuff coming out on the world stage about how certain people and groups of people are beyond disgusting, beyond criminal, and what's going to happen or not happen. Are these folks going to be revealed for the healing? Because you've got to reveal it to heal it. Or are we going to find out that the folks who might be revealed have found a way to block the revealing so that the world can continue as it is with these deep state monsters continuing to do their evil work? We don't know. Next, we have another eclipse. This is the new moon eclipse, and that's right at the end of the month. This will be an Aries sun and an Aries. This will be an Aries sun with an Aries moon. So it's going to be very, very fiery. All right. I have a feeling it's going to be very challenging. I have a feeling both of these eclipses are going to be very challenging. And we'll talk about those on Rumble. What I would suggest is if you like my content here, we have something I believe equally interesting over on Rumble. It's TarotLumination on Rumble. Same thing. You just go to the different platform. You don't have to be a member or anything. You can just scroll into Rumble and search TarotLumination, and bammo, you'll find the channel and the videos. And I do those live as well. But anyway, just since we're here, for the sake of it, you might want to mark your calendars. We've got Venus retrograde all month. We got Mercury retrograde coming in about 2 weeks. We got a full moon eclipse in the middle of the month and a new moon eclipse at the end of the month. Okay, got it? Heather Mocha. Damn, I didn't get your name on the email list. I feel ashamed. Hello, Heather. Are you still over there in Vancouver, British Columbia? Hello, Tina. Good evening. Tina, at some point you'll have to enter just a few notes into the chat about Charlie, Sasha, and Pax. Greetings, Heather and Tina. Thanks for getting back to me. All right. Strings and things. Hello. Now I know. All right, so I'm just doing this for my own edification. Strings and things. Could you just maybe just for the hell of it, just type in a few notes about yourself? Where are you? Are you in America? Are you into weaving, or do you play guitar or violin? Do you like, what else is stringy? Basket weaving. Oh, you moved to Vancouver Island. Whoa. Isn't that one of the wettest places on earth? I bet it's very beautiful when it's nice weather. You're probably feeling. Oh, you'll have to tell us a little bit more, okay, while you're here. Let me go back. I just want to hang out with you properly, folks. Thanks for all your notes. Thanks, people, for checking in. I wasn't expecting to have such a turnout. I know we have a tiny crowd, but I'm used to an extremely tiny crowd these days, so it seems like we're having a full house. Charlie, Sasha, and Pax are all great. Pax is getting huge. Oh my God. Okay. Ivona is here. I had a feeling you'd show up. I'm going to put you on my list. Hi, Bubba. Give me a second. Are you thirsty? Want to come up and get a glass of water? Come on. Oh boy, oh boy. Here's little Bubba. All right. Hi, Bubba. I'm pleased to say that by paying very close attention to Bubba and his needs, giving him lots and lots and lots of cuddles, he's settling down and getting used to this other cat that lives here now. And whenever he's very sensitive, easy to get anxious and fearful, but he's also in his own way, he is the alpha, okay? Hold on. I want to see your notes so I can read them. You're in Oklahoma, you love music, you're very creative, you make jewelry and other pretty things. Wow, clickety click. Elizabeth is here. Good evening. All right, so I hope everybody's happy and well. I just wanted to share a little update about Bubba. You know, he's a senior cat, but you'd never know because he jumps up here, he jumps up there. He looks incredibly handsome, as you all know. And recently I've been pampering him as much as possible to make sure that he feels that he is completely loved and he is the most important thing on earth and that the universe revolves around Bubba. And so he started to eat more food and more special kibbles and things. Yeah. Okay. So Elizabeth wants a reading. Okay. All right. So I've been working very hard to find lots of variety with foods in cans and things. And now I can understand why, if you're really rich, you can afford or you have to buy little tiny cans of cat food. Because just with a regular can of cat food, I'm lucky to get through 100% of it. By the time they've eaten what they want to eat, the last little bits are not very appealing, okay? Well, I have no idea about his sunset. Come on, Bubba. Oh. I don't have any birth data for Bubba. But anyway, so the last couple of days, I found one can of food, which was, I think it was like a Friskies Farm Favorites type of thing. And it had stuff I've never seen before. I didn't know this, but they have like things like salmon and tuna mixed up with green peas and brown rice. I mean, it makes me think, wow, I could eat that. Okay. And so he guzzled it. And I got him more, and the more he guzzled it, the more he guzzled it. And I kept thinking, oh, this is great. He's putting on some weight. And then he would have one of his favorite kibbles right next to it. And so he would be double dipping back and forth. And I was so happy, so happy for him. Because he's putting on a little tiny bit more weight. He's kind of like me. He can eat whatever he wants, and he just doesn't. I'm really skinny, and it's hard for me to keep my weight. But anyway, Justin was born. Patience. Oh, 11/11/24. 11/11. So today we had a little incident with Bubba. He was doing his business, and then I heard some meows, and then he came into one of the other rooms with me, and he looked very, very upset. And he started walking around on his haunches, on his rear legs, looking like he was trying to take a dump. And I kept, what are you doing, guys? You're supposed to be back at the litter box. And then he was sort of crying a little bit. And I thought, oh my God, he's got something stuck in his guts or something. And then I thought maybe he's just a little bit bunged up, because there's quite a change in his diet. And so anyway, I stayed very, very, very close to him, and I nursed him, and I made sure he was feeling as comfortable and happy as possible, and as strong and capable as possible, because in the end I figured it out. He needs to squeeze out a little piece of fecal matter. And I know this sounds gross, but usually he doesn't drink quite as much water as he should, and most of the time he comes out with these little dry pellets. And that's normal. It's been that way since I've known him, but this time it changed into shinier, bigger lumps, and he was not used to it, and I was not used to it, and I think it took him by surprise. But anyway, with lots of encouragement and me standing by and helping him keep up his strength and pushing, kerblam, he let rip, and it all came out, and so he was very, very happy. I know humans are the same way. Whenever you get a little bit bunged up, you can start to feel miserable, and then more miserable. And then when finally you have let's say, a definitive moment, and all the pressure is released, you can go, oh, I feel great again. Yeah, So there we go. Oh gosh, the chat. I have to keep up. What's going on here? Oh, let me read out question. Elizabeth, okay. And we have the same birthday. Don't overload me with readings. I can't really take much more. We've got a booking for Necessary, a booking for Gregory, and now I have a booking for Elizabeth, okay? So just let me do those 3 readings first, all right? And then we'll see if I can handle any more, all right? Yes, we'll see the changes that are in your life, okay? Definitely, for sure. Remember, just heads up, okay, Elizabeth? Uranus is in Taurus, all right? And that makes things sometimes very unpredictable and very unstable and surprising and shocking. Sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's confusing, but shock and surprise would be very normal. So do not be surprised if all sorts of shenanigans seem to be happening around you. Hello, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's here. I hope you had big winnings over in Las Vegas. I'm sorry we couldn't meet up. We tried. We had a really good try. All right, let's get to work, folks. We're here to work, okay? So let's just get on with it. All right, I'm going to put all my notes aside. Those can stay there. I'll put the box aside. That can go over there. I'm going to put this over here. Let's clear up the space here. Let's clear the space here. I've got to do a reading for Elizabeth. Hi, Bubba. Necessary told me that you are my familiar. You're the little spirit creature who keeps me in line and keeps me tuned up and close to heaven. Make sure that my aura is as good as can be. Okay, intuitive changes. Let's see. All right, so that's it for now, okay? Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to start off with necessary truth. Alrighty, brace yourselves, people. This is going to be fun. This is actually quite relevant because I'm curious myself. What necessary truth wants to have is a little reading to shed some light about what's really going on with the, let's say, interchange between Vladimir Zelensky and Donald Trump, because these have had very recently some shocking, let's say, repercussions across the world, given the shocking events that happened in Washington over the last few days. So we're going to read on that. Yes, necessary. You wanted to know about what's happening with Zelensky and Trump, given the shocking events that just unfolded. All right, Bubba's headed out. He's probably going to cruise around, see what's going on. Okay. All right, so I've already shuffled up here. Bubba, if you need to come up, just let me know, and I'll give you a levitation. Hold on. Bubba, stay there. I'm going to open up your little bed again. Over here. What's up? No, I can set you up over here. Look. Stay there, folks. Just bear with me. Set things up for little Bubba here. Okay. There you go. You okay, Bubba? You alright, Bubba? You can come over and hang out over here. Come on. Come on, we're going to do a reading. You want to do the reading with me? Okay. Just jump up if you're ready. Or you can jump up here. Come on. No, I can't go over and hang out with you right now. But we're going to have lots of hangouts later. All right. So, what I like to do is ask if people could invite their invisible friends to get as close as possible and treat this like a beautiful evening surrounding a campfire where we all have some little element of joy that's, tingling inside our hearts, and we're just here to share rather than coming in out of fear, because when I do my Rumble stuff, I'm often talking about things that are scary because, like most animals, we have to know what is going on in our environment so that we can continue to survive. And so often what we look for as animals is to anything that would be threatening our joy, our happiness, our survival. And if it feels good, then you can go off and do what you have to do. Eat, sleep, have fun, play, work, whatever it is. But it's interesting, like why the mainstream news or any kind of information is often about negative topics, because those are the ones where we have to be on immediate high alert in order to protect our money, protect our privacy, protect ourselves, maintain our safety, our security, and ultimately our survival. So that's why news is consistently, full of typically bad subjects. You can go to places where all they tell you about is beautiful things, but it doesn't, anyway. All right, here we go. Let's just dive in. Let's do this. What kind of messages do we have here tonight for what's going on with Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky? A lot has happened in the last 48 hours, so let's see. I have my opinions, so I'm going to try to keep my opinions to myself at the moment, and we're just going to see what is coming up here that needs to be revealed. I'm using my spread I've been using for years. It's my little situational spread. It's just my little diagnostic tool. I see your notes. Don't worry, Elizabeth. We'll figure it out. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. And here's how we're going to handle them. Here's how they're going to handle them. Let's have a look at external influences. Of course, I always default to the planets, but let's just have a look. Let's see what's going on. So we have judgment. Wow. Okay. This could be extremely liberating. Okay. With this judgment card, it's like an alarm. Or it could be the national anthem for America. It could be, I mean, I'm really stretching this here, but I'm telling you, necessary, I'm feeling something very, very big where now my opinions and everything that I've learned so far is going to have a little bit of an influence on this reading, so I have to be careful. But what this is hinting to me is that because of, necessary, because I track these things as much as and closely as I can. Okay, so before we dive into the reading, what I'm sensing with the judgment card is that we're heading to a very profound moment of liberation where like truth will prevail, and what may happen is a severing of existing status quo relationships between America and the rest of the world, but in particularly Europe. America being symbolized by Trump, Europe being symbolized by Zelensky, okay? Because both those characters are at the epicenter of historic changes right now. If you've seen any of the drama and the footage, you'll understand that it was one of the most shocking things I'd ever seen on a news event regarding politics, American politics. And the consensus is the same, mostly around the world. Depends on whether you're a fan of Trump or not and how you view it, but either way, it was a shocker. And one of the takeaways, if you went into the after effects after the meetup, there was Senator Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance had a very, very quick meetup after the catastrophic blow-up of the meeting. And together, Marco and J.D. decided we have to go to Trump and make our voices heard, and our feelings heard. And what they told Trump is that we have to sever ties with this guy. Okay? It's great that you have offered Vladimir, if you want peace and you're ready for peace, you're welcome to come back. But the overall consensus high up is that Zelensky ultimately does not want peace. And that Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance are correct. And we need to literally sever ties and then be done with it. Change world history effectively. Profound changes in world history. And I know that sounds very scary, like, oh my God, we're going to abandon Europe and Ukraine and everything like that. But there's a profound liberty that goes with it. It's just like, we just get rid of this thing. Because what Trump did was basically said, since you're obviously not ready for peace, what you're looking for is more money, more guns, and more bullets, which means more war. And you want us to do all of that. It's not going to happen. We've already told you this is the third time that you said you're going to sign the deal, and then you didn't. So nobody trusts you here. You might as well just get out, go home. And Zelensky was thrown out of the White House. Okay, literally. So, moving on. Zelensky made very, very rapid fix-ups over in Europe. And now Europe, within 24, 36 hours, has totally coalesced around Zelensky, promising money, weapons, and soldiers into Ukraine, which is what Zelensky wants. So that is a very serious setup for war, taking it to a whole other level, exactly what Donald Trump does not want. But again, the setup is almost perfect, because now Trump can go, you know what? I'm out of here. We're out of here. You're on your own. Okay? Because guess what's happening? I'm going to say all of this before I even go into the next three cards, okay? Because it's really important. What is happening is, if you look at a map of Ukraine, over on the eastern side, all the Donbass and down into Crimea, that all used to be Russian territory, and it's all Russian people there. And years ago, Ukraine tried to take it, and it's been a problem ever since, and Russia basically wants it back. That's really all that's happening here. Except it has become much more inflammatory, and it turned into a massive money laundering, kiddie, child sex trafficking, biolab laundering racket. It's a racket for crime and corruption, money, all of that stuff. So Zelensky is having a blast. The last thing he wants is peace. If he gets peace, he's out of business. He's out of a job. And so going back full circle, Trump wants to bring Russia into the world economy and take the fuses out of the nuclear Holocaust scenario. Trump can already work with Putin. Trump knows, and Putin knows, that the vast amount of mineral resources that the mineral deal is based on is actually in the Donbass region, which is basically going to be Russian anyway. We'll see what happens. So it's very, very much up there. And so in effect, before we even go into the reading, Trump is like, this might be the best thing that could have ever happened. You're on your own, Zelensky. You're on your own, Europe. America is still here, but you got to learn how to take care of yourselves. You got to learn how to pay to fund your own wars, because we're done. We've already blown hundreds of billions. We're sick of it. Bye. Judgment. Freedom. Okay, so let me go back to the reading itself. All right. Hey, listen, Jay, I'm not going to have enough time to... I've got 3 readings booked so far, and that's probably all I'm going to be able to handle. You can get to me if you want to. You can go to TarotLumination.com. We can book a private thing, or you can book a mini reading, and I'll just record it and send it to you. All right, so here we go. Given all that jibber jabber I just mentioned, in some ways this feels very liberating to me. It's like fresh air. It's just like, in a very convoluted way, we have basically gone snip. And Europe is realizing they have to act very, very quickly. Otherwise, things are going to get very, very, very bad. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Oh, look. We've got the Knight of Cups here. So, this is very much about moving towards peace. Deliberately marching towards peace in the face of battle, in the face of potential horrific, ugly, warlike scenarios. And I believe that is what Trump is doing. I believe Trump is symbolically marching forward in a very methodical, logical, common sense way to try and reach peace. Because he's made it very, very clear. I don't want war. I don't want a defense deal with Ukraine or Europe. I want the fighting to stop. I want the bloodshed, all the killing of hundreds of thousands of men has to stop. You've probably seen the footage, people, of the Ukrainian army basically dragging any male off the street, throwing them in a uniform and putting them out on the Eastern Front to be killed in the meat grinder. And Trump is very anti-war in that regard. Trump comes from a position of immense power. Okay, so that gives him the ability to carry himself with great dignity, with love, with great power, and a way forward to actually create peace, which means a deliberate willingness to put down your arms and settle, okay, and make a deal. Trump had it all set up. He's still there. I believe Trump, deep in his heart, if Zelensky truly did come back and realize that he's in a corner and the only thing to do is strike a deal with Trump, then Trump may take the call. He may take the meeting. Because I think Trump would honor his own words in that regard. However, the relationship is extremely fragile and it's basically already broken. What happened over the last few days is basically the end of what the status quo in Europe. The status quo for decades is now finished just in a matter of days, okay? I'm not kidding. It's completely done. Europe, a lot of the countries in Europe, they had a massive spontaneous meetup over there in London with Keir Starmer. And they all realized, holy shit, we've got to get our freaking act together because America's not going to back us up. There's not going to be big military American backup. It's not going to happen. And so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so they have all pledged to support Ukraine some way, somehow. And so, of course, Zelensky now feels like he's a rock star because he has got all the handshakes and all the photo ops and the optics. It looks fantastic on the world stage. He's surrounded by roughly 20 European leaders, and they're all on board with him. So he's probably looking back at Donald Trump and going, I got what I wanted. I got more money, billions and billions and billions, and I got lots of guns and bullets. Ha, 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 ha. And then Trump is probably like, great, great. You're going to need him. Goodbye. If you want to play World War III, have fun. We're out of it. We are free. I'm still here. But I'm not going to play your silly games. I come for peace. I only want peace. I'm very, very powerful. I can do whatever has to be done to protect and defend myself, my country, my people, our Constitution, our way of life. But we're not going to bow down to you, Mr. Z, and your bloodthirsty, warmongering ghouls. All right, what's the problem with this? Of course, because there's always a problem with something like this. Seven of Cups, delusional. So the question, who here is delusional? Is it a complete delusion that there's a chance for world peace or peace with Ukraine and Russia? And that's what's so scary. In other words, all we're doing here in our observation, watching the media, watching the meetings with Zelensky and the Europeans and Zelensky and Trump, what we're witnessing is theater. It's like a movie. And everything, from my opinion, and this is my opinion now, I'm offering a little bit, there is borderline delusion, insanity here, because Trump is coming from his perspective of peace, okay? But at the emotional level, you can understand why Ukraine is now very excited, why Zelensky is excited, because he's got what he wants. But what does that reveal? It reveals that he does not really want peace. He could have had peace, but he doesn't really want to do that. Why? I believe it's because of ego. Same thing like Xi Jinping. I think. Let me just move on here. Okay, so with the Seven of Cups, we have to be very, very careful because things are very up in the air, and we've got the eclipses. All right. Within less than 2 weeks, we're going to have the full moon eclipse, Sun in Pisces, Moon in Virgo. And that's going to be about the cleanup campaign. What's actually going on here and how are we going to clean it up? And sadly, on the unhealthy expression of all this Pisces, 12th house, Neptune, global energy, it's very, very, very easy to become our own worst enemies and become the authors of our own demise and get sucked into psychotic, delusional behavior, thinking, oh, yeah, maybe Zelensky's thinking, now we're going to win the war and everything's going to be great. And then Putin is over there thinking, my God, you guys are absolutely insane. You've just set the stage for massive war that'll drag on for years all across Europe. Zelensky, you're absolutely delusional. And for all the European leaders who signed up with Zelensky, you guys are delusional too. And that's a big, big problem. This is not about Russia. This is about Zelensky and Trump. So I have to be really, really honest about this Seven of Cups because things are so volatile that I feel that this mostly applies to Zelensky as being delusional, completely out of his mind, drunk on power and money and control, and he's used to having all that by scamming Joe Biden and other countries for money and bullets and guns and everything. But now the stage is set, and from my perspective, Zelensky is starting to look really delusional. But you also have to allow that Trump, as well-meaning as he is, it's almost like he may be anticipating the layers of what's happening right now, and he's enjoying the show. He's enjoying the insanity. He's enjoying the loopiness of the movie, because I'm speculating here, but by sticking to his desire to have peace, that sets the stage for him to withdraw completely. And then that puts NATO on edge, it puts the European Union on edge, it puts Ukraine on edge. On the other hand, Zelensky has turned it into a spectacle where I think Zelensky is drunk on power, and Trump is basically staying calm and mellow and just observing. It's very, very difficult to deal with someone who's completely drunk on power, money, and control. So how do we move forward? Okay, with the Two of Wands here, very, very carefully. The fate of the world is in our hands right now. There is no answer here at the moment, because we are living in a moment, in an episode, an astrological episode of destiny. The seeds are planted, but we don't know the exact outcome. There are too many variables at this moment, but the seeds have been planted, okay? What I mean by that is that Trump has made it extremely clear. He wants peace. He had a perfectly good deal that was presentable to Zelensky that would have ensured peace. Zelensky basically gave him the middle finger on television in front of millions and millions and millions of global viewers, basically insulting Trump, insulting the White House, insulting the American government. Zelensky showed up in sweater and jeans, and then he was over there in England. The next day he was still in the same sweater and jeans. And he's still in the same sweater and jeans by the end of the day. So Trump has absolutely zero respect for this guy Zelensky. I think Trump views Zelensky as delusional, and Trump is not going to do much more on the public stage because he doesn't really have to. Trump has already made his case, and so Trump is enjoying a fabulous MAGA weekend down at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, playing golf with his buddies, enjoying the spectacular, amazing shift in America according to what Trump likes and what fans of Trump like. So that's fantastic. And really, effectively what's happened is it's liberation by washing hands of Zelensky and basically saying, Zelensky, you're on your own. You're going to have to figure it out with Europe because we're not going to do this. We're not going to play your delusional games, okay? And so Zelensky figured it out. He's pulling off a scam, but we don't know what's going to happen. I think we can have an idea. We already know that the British and a few other countries are going to be supplying billions of dollars of money straight to Zelensky and his team, and also weaponry. Okay, so the stage is set for massive, massive changes on the world stage. The Three of Wands would give us a better idea, but that's another reading on another day. Right now, the stage is set for the next movie in world history. We're going to find out a lot more on the eclipses. One of the things heads up about the eclipses, the second one is right at the end of March. It's in Aries, so it's Aries Sun, Aries Moon. And at that time, it's not going to be very pretty. At the time. So over here we're going to have Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Venus in Aries, and a Mercury on the cusp right at the end of Aries. So it's not pretty, okay? These are not very pleasant alignments. Okay, let's put it that way. So with the Two of Wands here, folks, it's what's that expression? You might as well mind your own business, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, literally. Take care of your health, your finances, your activities, your heart, your body, your mind, your soul. Make yourself as strong and healthy as you can. Because we're going into Aries. So there's a lot of energy pumping up in Aries, okay? And it's going to be an eclipse. And what we might find is that if you do not take care of yourself properly and prioritize yourself, your needs, your right to be you, then you could suffer. You could end up being the cause of your own demise. And so that's what Trump is doing. He's basically saying, we're going to make America great again. And this is how we do it. I'm very sorry that the deal didn't work out. You're on your own, Zelensky, and you're there with Europe because we're going to go and take care of stuff that we have to do here in America because we have a lot of other stuff to deal with, especially China, Mexico, Canada. There you go. So I hope that helps you necessary. It gives you a bit of clarity. Yeah. Thank you, Gregory. Oh, I didn't see that. Sometimes those comedy shows are extremely telling. You know, they rip the shreds out of all these famous, rich, important politicians and world leaders. They expose all the dirt and the corruption. They make fun. I very rarely see those things. Maybe I should pay attention a little bit more. All right, let me just wrap this up. And I have to reshuffle because we're going to move on, do a reading for Gregory Ross here. Let's set that up for you, Gregory. Now we're going to clear this. I'm going to have to give myself a bit of leave time here to shuffle up, okay? Oh boy, oh boy. Give me a moment. I'm just trying to catch up with readings here. I wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near so busy. So I really can't take any more. I'll accept the strings and things because you've already sent it. So, okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's okay, Elizabeth. Came through. You're good. All right, let's see what I can do here. I'm gonna put that over here. Oh, yeah, come on, TL. You can do this. All right, so thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, I got that. And also, there you go, strings and things. Got that, okay? So we'll get to it. We're going to have to just work our way through. No more bookings, please. I won't be able to handle it, okay? Okay. It's too late now. You're going to get a reading. Ay. Thank you. Thank you very much, strings and things. Cards are nicely shuffled. Okay. Now I see your notes there, Elizabeth. You want a positive reading. You want to make sure that I give you a positive reading. Okay, I will press that button for you. Make sure it comes out as a good reading. Okay, all right, Gregory, we're up. Who knows what's going to happen? Usually you allow me to go off and do a totally blind reading. So, without further ado, let's make that happen. Okay. All right, so what kind of messages do we have here? So, like we did on the last reading, I like to think of this like we're at a beautiful campfire. It's beautiful weather. It's nighttime. And it's perfect outside. We got a big, beautiful fire. And it's a big circle. We're all sitting around having fun, telling stories, whispering secrets, and asking questions and getting amazing answers. Sharing and caring. All right. So let's have a look. What kind of messages do we have here tonight for Mr. Ross? Okay. All right. Well shuffled. I'm really splitting that. Very big. Okay. All right. Let's have a look here. Again, please invite your invisible friends to join us. Imagine that the campfire is there and you're there, but we're also surrounded by our own personal angels, guardians, guides, invisible friends, invisible pets, loved ones from the other side. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things. And let's have a look at the, external influences. All right. So we have here the world. Okay, so this is kind of like what I think of typically when I see this. I'm not overlaying too much. I want to keep it very simple. It's like we're looking at a movie where there's you. You're living your life, just being you. And every now and again, you might sort of get that feeling, my God, I'm living in a freaking movie. My whole life is like a movie. I feel like somebody's writing the script or I wrote the script and I'm just acting out the parts. And we're just moving along through a screenplay, and that's just how life works. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, that one just ended. And so sometimes I look at it like a Netflix, episodic thing or a full-blown feature film. Okay, so what I'm sensing more here is like with the Netflix, it would be more like life goes on and on and on and on and on, and there you're the central character, and every year it's a new season, and there's 5, 8, 13 episodes per season, and then you go through it all. You have the high points, the low points, good news, bad news, scary things, beautiful things, and then the final episode is either a beautiful consolidation or it's a cliffhanger to get you set up for the next season next year. So if you want to look at it that way, Gregory, you can see this as an episodic thing where you've been living through multiple episodes for a certain season of the Gregory Ross show. Or if you want, it's really up to you how you perceive it. I'm just presenting the concept here. With the World card, you could think of it as a movie. If you feel like you've been living in a movie and there are certain characters and events and circumstances that have been going on, and you feel like, why didn't anybody tell me the movie's over? Oh, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting that as a kind of ending, but, well, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. But we move on, because guess what? There's always another movie. Pretty much starts again immediately. But you have to kind of wrap up one to start another one. Doesn't mean the end of the world. It just means, for me, it just means like the end of a scenario, the end of a chapter, the end of a dynamic, okay? And it has to be, it has a conclusion. And there's no point in going back to resurrect things. It's more about accepting things as they are, like, and realizing, well, okay, well, by surrendering, you open yourself to receive the next movie or the next episode or the next season of the Gregory Ross show. Rather than trying to impose certain things, for example, taking a screenplay and then feeling like, wait a minute, I have to write 3 more pages at the end to make this wrap up properly according to Gregory Ross, the script writer. But what I'm sensing here, it's more about you just living in the movie. Allowing one movie to fold up, and then a new movie begins. Let's have a look here. What's the situation itself? You might feel desolate, left out, or something. Sometimes I see this as the blind leading the blind. You might be hurting deep inside right now, like, what am I not seeing? What am I blind to? What is my blindness? Why does it feel like blindness? I know I'm valuable. I know I have good values. I know I am a man of value, a person of value. And yet there feels like some sort of loss here. And it might be a shared loss, like you've lost someone and someone has lost you. And it's through no fault of anyone's own. It's more to do with, let's say, evolution, okay? More to do with like evolution of circumstance where you're on a journey. Just like in a movie, it has a beginning and a middle and an end, okay? You're on this journey, and characters come in and out of movies. You know, there's the hero, there's the antagonist, and then there's the subplot A, subplot B, subplot C, and so on. Hello, Jada Noel Bowman. You just... All right. Good for you. So it might feel as though, because there's 2 characters here, your feelings might be hurt and their feelings might be hurt, and it might be that, oh, I didn't want this movie to be over, especially the way it's over, or maybe it's not over, maybe it's going to start again, but there has to be some sort of acceptance of the actual moment where things are right now. And the circumstances would be that, you can have a movie where there's a little bit of tragedy, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's over. It just means, because, sometimes there's trilogies, okay? If there's, what I'm sensing here is that it's maybe something to do with Venus retrograde, because it's happening at this very, very moment where Venus is flipping retrograde. And Venus in Aries is not very happy anyway. Venus is the ruler of Libra, which is love, partnership, balance, harmony, relationships, marriage, deal making, and so on. And harmony, okay? And Aries is very much about the self. Me first. I have to fight for what I get. Things have to work according to my specifications or I'm out. And so Venus in Aries is not a very comfortable situation where we are right now. And so if there's a sensation that you're putting your needs first and there's others putting their needs first and all it's doing is making things worse, then yeah, you could blame it on the planets. Especially when Venus in Aries go retrograde, where it's like the more and more you try to fight for what works for you, you're actually bringing more and more pain and suffering and damage and loss of value to a situation. And vice versa. If there's another party that is trying to assert their, let's say, agenda, me first in a situation, and it's not acceptable or workable for you, because the Venus in Aries is applying to everybody, regardless of your Venus sign or your sun, whatever. It's just that for the whole world right now, Venus in Aries is not a comfortable situation, especially retrograde. And that's happening, bam, right now. So it's kind of catching things by surprise. So the thing is, when I look at the Five of Pentacles like this, momentum still exists, okay? The characters are moving forward anyway, even though there might have been some sort of pain and loss and suffering. Okay, let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Okay, there might have been a lot of hidden emotional turbulence or dynamics that were exposed in this movie that were not anticipated as you go through the movie, okay? So as you go through the movie and different phenomenon, experience, events happen, and the characters in the movie, they morph, they change, they grow, they evolve. Some have a taste of joy, some have a taste of sorrow, and you go through these waves, just like in a movie. Good news, bad news, happy, sad, and so on. And then later on, in the closing chapters or the closing pages of the movie, you as the lead character, but also including, I think, all the characters in the movie, are realizing, like, my gosh, I'm saying we, because there's characters here, we might not have realized or understood at first the full depths and emotional dynamics of what is going on in the movie. And the only way it could be discovered was by the souls, the characters in the movie, willingly accepting the roles in the movie without knowing the outcome of the movie. In other words, I don't know. So it might be a little bit scary, like, Gregory, you could not have anticipated any kind of emotional, let's say, turbulence or fear or resistance, or, fear can make us really, really clam up and tighten up and become very, very tearful and hesitant. And it makes it harder and harder to have, loving relationships. Also remember, Mercury is going to be flipping retrograde. Mercury's in, wait a minute, let me just double check Mercury. Hold on, give me a second. Well, you see, we're on the cusp of Mercury heading into Aries as well. We're on the crisis point right now. So communications as well, so both Venus and Mercury, which are very, very important components of relationship dynamics and the interplay of characters in a movie, are going through a very difficult patch right now. But I would say here that it was unanticipated. Who knew? But there we are. There we go right now. And it could also make people hesitant, like even though you're moving on, the characters are moving on with their lives. The question is, are the characters willing to encounter such profound emotional experience again? Especially if it's a negative experience, it can be really, really frightening. A lot of people are so terrified of their feelings that anything that feels bad, they just run away. Like, I don't want to feel bad. I'd rather just quit, leave, get out of it. Okay. No more readings. Please, no more bookings. Okay. All right, let's have a look over here. So how are we going to move forward? Okay, very gently, very carefully, allowing for, let's say, some time to lapse, okay? With the retrogrades, like Venus is going to be retrograde for what, 6-7 weeks? Mercury's going to flip retrograde in a week or two. It's going to be retrograde for 3 weeks. So what I would feel here with the Page of Cups is give yourself some time to ponder on and wonder, what is the context here? What is the element of love? Okay, this is the Page of Cups. So this is, in some ways, this reading is very much about a learning experience about what is love? What is the meaning of love? How does love flow in your life? How is love, the concept, the energy field of love, expressing itself in the movie of your life? And if something is over right now, there might be a trilogy, or if it's part of an episodic, then what I'm suggesting here is that it takes time. Like it would take time to heal some wounds and to, let's say, ponder what just happened. What just happened here? What does this mean for me, number one? And if you're being gracious, what are the implications for other people in the movie? You know, it might be a singular person, it might be multiple characters, it might be your community, a business client, something, someone. But anyway, with the Page of Cups, the way to deal with this is like not get too blown away by what might appear to be a catastrophic ending, because the movies, they just keep coming and coming and coming. As soon as one movie finishes, another movie starts, another movie comes out, okay? If it's seasonal and it's episodic, don't worry, there's going to be another episode. The screenwriters are already working on it, okay? So, yeah, the way forward is to be very, very kind to yourself. Accept that there is a major pause or an ending. Take some time to understand and feel, absorb and feel what happened. It's not the end of the world, it's the end of a movie. And what does that mean for you? What did you learn? What is love to you now at this point? What did you think was love before the movie began? Then what did you learn during the movie, and what do you understand now that this movie is over, or this episode of a seasonal thing is over? So you could treat it as a beautiful, gentle, loving learning experience, and it's not over. All right. The world moves on, okay? As the world turns. Wasn't that some kind of famous name for a famous soap opera? Okay. Okay, so I can see, Gregory, that you're absolutely deliriously happy about your reading. Anyway, we do what we can here. I don't try to, fudge things or fake things or push things. Unless, of course, it's Elizabeth Boucher, and I have to make the reading sound amazing for her, no matter what. So, all right, let's have a look. Thank you, Gregory. I'm going to have to do some more shuffling here. I hope that reading made sense to you and you can reinterpret it into your own life. I know you do readings yourself, so, it should be, it should be workable for you. All right, give me a... Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right. Sorry about that. I had to call of nature. Thank you for your patience. All right. Okay. All right, Elizabeth, we are well shuffled in advance here, and let's have a look. Let me just check in over here. Where am I? Oh, God, I'm so not used to this. All these buttons, all these lights, oh, God. Where am I? Okay, we're in this. Let's go over here. Good evening, Elizabeth. Good evening, Gregory. I hope you get something out of that. I see your notes there. Ready to end a number of chapters. Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Good. All right. So regarding other people who are here, if you're watching and you want readings, basically, I won't be able to handle any more tonight. We're going to read for Elizabeth Boucher, and then we're going to read for Strings and Things, and that'll be it for tonight. However, let me just show you something. Oh, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, there's TarotLumination.com, and I'm on the donate page. But you can connect with me there at the connect page, and if you want to book an astrology reading or a tarot reading, you can do the payments through there. And if it's just a little mini reading or something, I just record it and send it. We don't meet up. If it's a big premium type of reading where we're going to be working together for quite a bit of time, then we would meet up live on Zoom. That would be preferred. You just send me your astrological data information in advance, and we schedule it and book it, and then eventually we do the reading, and when the reading's done, it will be sent over and processed on my drive, and then over to the storage, and then from storage it'll create a link, and then the link will be sent to you. You click the link and download it, and you keep your reading, and you can watch it like a little movie. So there you go. That's for folks who are interested in the things, because I don't have to do everything on a Sunday night. I can work during the week and so on and so on. I'm doing these evening things on Rumble now, but I have other bits and pieces of time now and again where I can do readings for people. So if you're interested, just get in touch, okay? Also, I don't think you have to have a PayPal account to do any payments. There's a credit card option. If people want to do that, you just scroll through the payment processor and figure it out that way. All right, so let's have a look. All right, let's have a look here. Let's do your reading. You ready, Elizabeth? Are you here? Oh, there you are. I see you. Okay. I think little Bubba is happy. Yeah. I think Bubba is all content. He's curled up. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. We had lots of cuddles today, so he should feel pretty good after that event I told you about earlier. Poor little guy. All right. Everything's good. All right, Elizabeth, what kind of... You know what? Let me just scroll. I want to see exactly what you wrote there. Give me a second. I know you had some sort of note there. Hello, Jada. You're writing a screenplay. Yeah, I've worked for what 18 years in Hollywood, movies and TV. The Campfire. Yeah, thank you. Here we are. Oh boy. I need to check. Okay, I'm trying to find your notes there. A positive reading, please. Okay, I'll just do a positive reading. I'll just press the positive reading button and make that happen. Here we go. So what kind of positive reading regarding life and changes in the world and everything do we have for Elizabeth here this evening? I've never really had anyone sort of come at it that way before. I know you love to have fun, Elizabeth. You love to have a good chuckle and a laugh. How's Bubba doing with the other cat? Well, right now they're basically living around each other. Little Tuffy wants to be friends, but Bubba is like, you're not Boo Boo, you're not Bonnie. You just showed up here thinking you can go anywhere, do anything. That's not cool. The other cat is pretty big and heavy. They've had a few standoff moments, but right now, basically, Bubba is more or less... Well, he gets anxious every day. Like, where is that cat? Where is the other cat? What's he doing? Where is he going? Is he coming into my turf, my areas? For sure, he's really... Bubba's really anxious because of territorial issues. But anyway. Well, no, it's turning into a long-term situation. Anyway. Are we ready? Are you ready, Elizabeth? Actually, let me do just one more little tweak here. I want to have an absolute pristine situation. So brace yourself, Elizabeth. Don't be too happy. You might want to sit on your hands while you're watching. You don't want to explode with laughter and joy. We'll start again. Here we go. All right. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things. Remember, this is like a diagnostic tool, okay, Elizabeth? And the idea is to basically reveal things that would otherwise not be so accessible, so that way you can have a better chance to having a happier life. Let's have a look. External influences. All right, so I've got the 5 of Swords here. All right, so if you're in a situation, Elizabeth, and you want to be happy, and you're noticing, like with all these swords here, it's probably very much to do with communications between perhaps friends and family, or friends who've turned into enemies, or family or loved ones who turned into enemies. And then you get stuck into what I consider a negative feedback loop. What this is telling me, in order to be happy, it's very, very important to recognize when you're in a negative feedback loop, because a lot of times people don't know. They're not aware. So let me explain this a little better if I can. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to go over here. Oh, God. I forgot how to navigate this show. All right. So, Elizabeth, with the 5 of Swords there, it makes me feel that whether you like it or know it or not, you might have got sucked into like conflicting types of communications and conversations, whether it's with friends, family, associates, I don't know, the public, doctors, business associates, whatever it might be, where just a couple of words, look at it this way, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, at the wrong place, to the wrong person for the wrong reasons, in the wrong location, can easily backfire. And it's so easy for these things to backfire in the world of communications. You might be conducting your life as just happy Elizabeth Boucher. I'm just like free and open, because you are a very free, open, and pure person. And your heart is always in the open giving position. But not everybody works like that. Some people take advantage of that. And then you could end up, basically getting used. And then that hurts. And then you might respond with some, let's say, language that it's almost like futile. It's almost like if somebody hurt you and you try to tell them, listen, you didn't have to say that. You hurt my feelings or whatever. It's not going to matter, because those other people don't care anyway. And so you end up in a futile situation trying to fix something that can't be fixed. But it's very frustrating, because you want it to fix, because you don't want to hurt. You don't want to be hurt. And then if you get hurt, you don't want to have to go back and try to balance it out so that maybe they hurt, so that they see what it feels like, because it turns into a negative feedback loop. But the sweet thing here, I'll try to sweeten it up with the 5 of Swords, is that once you understand that these negative feedback loops are kind of like landmines or booby traps, and they are extremely easy to step on. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm just great. Well, why didn't you get back to me when I said this or that to you? Like, what do you mean? Why didn't I get back to you? Well, I wrote you. It can backfire so badly. It's like stepping on a pile of dog shit or something, and then you go, oh God, and so on, and then things like with the negative feedback loop. The more you try to prove yourself to get your own healing, the more it digs in, like the other person could retaliate and try to prove themselves. And so the 5 of Swords here, I think, is important to recognize that all day, every day, we are surrounded by these situations, these little situations that they're invisible until you actually stumble on the situation and they explode like little bombs. And then you end up like blah, 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 or someone else ends up is like blah, 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 and there's no resolution, there's no joy. And you end up, well, fuck you. And the other one's like, well, fuck you. And so, I don't know how to do this. And this is just external influences. This happens to everybody, but I think with this reading here, the idea is it's very important that you are aware that these things happen and you are just as vulnerable as anyone else. Mostly because you are very, very open. Your heart chakra is very, very open. Even though you might think you close it up really, really tight because you don't want to be hurt, the reality is, because we've worked together a long time, you have a very loving soul. You want to love, you want to be loved. It's very natural, very pure. Okay? Okay? All right, let's have a look. Let's keep going. All right, let's see. What's the situation itself? The Hierophant. Okay. So, what this is indicating to me, Elizabeth, is that you're starting to reconsider how to completely reprogram your life. You've already had plenty of life experience, probably way more than you would want in some regards. And some of it is life experience that you would not wish on anyone. But there it is. That's your life. You've had a life that's been tainted by evil people. On the other hand, you still find a way to have some kind of core essence of joy at the very depths of your soul. I know you fight to keep it that way because it's very, very hard given the things that you have endured. But you're a fighter. You're a fighter, okay? And it makes me feel here with this Hierophant is just like you can look at the landscape of your life in your world and what's important to you? Well, you want to be happy. Mostly you want to love and be loved. And here's one thing I learned from my sister. If you don't expect anything, then you won't be disappointed. So I'm guilty of that. I always want this, 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 and this, and this. And when it doesn't happen, I get really disappointed. So if you're having all sorts of expectations of how life should be, and then it doesn't happen, you're guaranteed to feel disappointed. So what my feeling here was the Hierophant here is like a shift of attitudes, perceptions, of like codes of practice, like the business model of your life. In other words, you know how some people say, like with the 10 Commandments or something, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not blah, 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 blah. That's a lot of not. So you could say that if you want, like no more stepping on, no more stepping into volatile situations. No more taking the bait from people who are naturally hostile and abusive. No more getting sucked into their vortices of negative energy. It all has to stop. So you could do it all that way. Lots of no. No more of this, no more of that, no more of this, no more of that. So that's one way to rewrite your day-to-day practices, how you're going to conduct your life going forward. You can also do it in a positive way. Like a more, I'm not sure which is, preferable, but it's more like I will be more consciously aware of landmines. I will be more aware of the potential for hostility from people where I might end up being hurt, and I will remove myself accordingly. I will make sure I trust my instincts more and more and more, so that if I realize, oh my God, I'm in a repeat situation where something bad happened, I know where this is going. I'm not even going to allow myself to get in there. So, in other words, I don't know. It's just like phrasing it in the positive or phrasing it into the negative. I'm not sure if I'm getting my message across here properly, but it looks very much about how you would like to, make a new list of how you want to do things. How you want to do things like in your world. Like here's a list. Now my cool new things that I'm going to do. Like, this is, number one, I'm going to choose happiness. Number two, I will set aside the desire for being right in a conversation. In other words, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? So sometimes with situations like this, it's better not to even take the bait. It's just better to walk away and kiss that goodbye. I'm trying. Okay, let's have a look here. So what are the problems here? Because this is actually quite challenging, because what this reading is telling me is that we're looking for very, very subtle but very, very powerful aspects in your life where unwittingly you end up with self-sabotage and being your own worst enemy, sometimes over and over and over again. And it's like a puzzle. Why does this keep happening? Partly it's because of conditioning, of course, right? You already know that. You were heavily conditioned early in life, but you are also doing astronomical amounts of deconditioning, which means reprogramming yourself to be a better, happier person, a person who's true to Elizabeth Boucher, okay? And so it's you reach a point in life where you realize, oh my God, now I can recognize all the booby traps and the landmines and the places where I often get tripped up. And instead of taking the bait, it's better to just walk away. Yeah, you might want to take the bait because it might be very emotionally satisfying to want to create equilibrium there in the moment, but it could just end up making things worse, okay? Follow your own drummer. Okay, let's see it. What are the challenges here? Because this is basically a card reading of how to make yourself more happy, okay? Oh, look, you are so lucky, Elizabeth. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Cups here. Of course, it's in the challenging position. So it makes me feel like one of the challenges, is that this feels extremely elusive to you. Like, in other words, it's just like, how is this possible? I am a loving, open, caring, joyful person. I have all sorts of talents. I'm intelligent. I'm literate. I'm loving. I'm capable of being very loving. Where is that mysterious reciprocal thing for me? What does that look like? And so it's going back to it's interesting because this is going back to what my sister taught me. I'll put it here on a post-it note. And I'll put it over here. This is what she taught me. I'm going to write this one for you, okay? Don't expect anything and you won't be disappointed. I know, it sounds almost like a self-defeating thing, but I've learned to use this more and more and more, okay? The beauty of this is that this would not be here unless you naturally radiate this energy anyway inside of yourself. So it's perfectly okay for you to be a radiant, loving, open-hearted human person, being, woman, and capable of just, you have almost like an unlimited supply. And it's almost like you wish the rest of the world would operate at those frequencies, but they don't. A lot of people are very selfish and very contained, and all they want to do is suck this out of you. Okay? Does that ring a bell? So how do we move forward? Oh, look at it. You keep going anyway. Okay? Even though you might constantly encounter people who are aware that you have this and they want this, but they're not willing to offer equal in exchange. They just want to take it. Okay? Yes, that's horrible and painful, but the beauty is that you have this, and not everybody has this. And so, what do? In order to stay happy? You stay loving anyway. Be loving, be loved, be loving anyway, okay? It's true, Elizabeth, you just have that. It's like you want to heal people. And it's almost like a message for you. That's why you do your writing. That's why you do your expressions and so on. So I'm going to write this one down as well, because it sounds to me like it needs to be written down. I've never done this before, but we're going to put that over here. Hi, Bubba. You looking for a snack? All right. I'm going to write this, okay, Elizabeth? I know, it sounds like it's too much to ask, but that's what this means. You keep going forward in life anyway. Be loving anyway. Even if other people or circumstances or events are not instantaneously reciprocal. You bring love to the world anyway. All right? All right. So that, my friend, is your reading. Alrighty. There we go. I'll put that aside. We're going to shuffle up. And now we're going to do the next reading. So let me clear the deck here. Strings and things, you are up. You are up. So let me just set things up over here. Okay, dokie. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh gosh. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta check something going on in the background here. Bear with me. What am I doing? God, so many freaking buttons. I keep forgetting how to do all this stuff. I'm used to streaming on Rumble now. It shouldn't be that different. Why am I struggling so much? Okay, clickety click, click, clickety click, 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 click. Oh gosh. Oh, let's see. Oh gosh, golly, gee, give me a second here. All right, so Angel. Hello, Angel. I see your notes there. I just want to let you know I'm not going to handle any more tonight. So what I will do, I have your donation here. I can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little mini reading for you tomorrow, and I'm going to send it to you. It'll be just like we do here, but it won't be live in front of the whole crowd, but it's the same thing otherwise. It will look just like this, and I will be able to hang out with you in person and share my thoughts on the reading and see how it goes from there, okay? So no offense, because I usually announce pretty early in the show. Number one, don't do any super chats because I'll never get the money. Number two, I can only usually handle 2 or 3 readings on a night, but we're already up to number 4, so that's about it. But if you're okay with that, I see your notes there. Okay, so you will get your reading, but just not tonight, okay? All right, so I don't want to let you down, okay? You're going to get your reading. All right, Bubba? Are you ready, Bubba? Bubba's ready. He's in a little bit of a snack coma. He was just having a snack, and now he's sort of digesting, and he's all warm and fuzzy. All right, here we go. Let's have a look here. Okie dokie. Okay, let's have a look here. Hi, Bubba. You're all dopey. Bubba, you're so dopey. Once I get started, I'm not going to be able to cuddle you as well. You know that, Bubba. All right, okay. Thank you, Angel. All right, so let's have a look here. All right, strings and things. It sounds like you just like to know what you need to know. And let me just double check. I saw some notes back there a little bit. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's it. I see your notes. I got you. Okay, I got you. We'll be fine. All right, so let's get set up here. I just want to get cozy. Get nice and cozy. Do this right. Here we go. All right. Hi, Papa. We're going to do a live reading now, okay? We're going to do a live reading. All right, here we go. Okay, what kind of messages? Remember the camp, visualize the beautiful campfire. Okay, we're still here. All right, there we go. We had lots of shuffling and just last moment, that's what I like to do. So, same old situational spread. This is like a diagnostic tool, like you go to the auto parts place and they plug in the little black box and they go on the computer and they tell you what's wrong with your car. Yay! Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And let's have a look at external influences. Of course, I usually default to the planets, but let's have a look. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles here. My first impression is that it's very, very, very important for you to pay very close attention to your finances right now. Okay? Whatever field of life we're talking about here. And, oh, yeah, help yourself. Have a little hot dogs, whatever you need. Hi, Bubba. I'm going to just shuffle this over here. You'll still get your reading, don't worry. Little Bubba. I want Bubba to feel comfy and safe. So, all right, so with the Two of Pentacles, believe me, you're not alone, strings and things. There's massive amounts of turbulence in the global financial arena right now. And that, whether we like it or not, has a trickle-down effect to every single person on this planet. Like it or not, okay? Now, some people are completely oblivious to the waves and the ups and downs and the turbulence of the global financial system. Some people are even oblivious of their own financial turbulence. Some people don't even know that they're creating problems for themselves. They'll wander around like with a $1,500 iPhone and some really fancy clothing and $20,000 of credit card debt, and then they're wondering why they feel uneasy at night, you know? Thank you, Bubba. Come on down here. You don't have to jump all the way. You can just come over here. Come on, Bubba. Come on. Oh, you just started. Oh, little Bubba. Give me a second. You can see his foot there. Yeah, he's clearing. He's doing an excellent job. He's a wonderful, wonderful little cat. And I love him dearly. And he loves me dearly. So strings and things, whether it's personal or business or in relationship dynamics, money in all ways and shapes and forms that I'm thinking of, whether it's to do with, credit cards, college loans, car payments, house payments, rent payments, jobs, money, income, savings, investments, anything to do with money. If you're sensing that there's something out of whack, if there's instability or things are getting out of control, where there are certain events and circumstances that are destabilizing your finances, it's very, very important to acknowledge it. Of course, the thing about money is that it's a very, very touchy subject for most people. And a lot of people either can't or won't or don't like to deal with it for what it is. It's just basically a form of energy. In its purest sense, it would relate to the second house in astrology, the Taurus house, regarding values, your values, your belief systems, which basically account for your values, your natural gifts and resources and talents, whether it's art, music, accounting, driving, management, shopkeeping, business, whatever it is, administration, entertainment, whatever it is, it usually has some financial, component. So if this is personal finances or it's business or it's partnership finances or something, and things are very, very wobbly, it's very, very important to acknowledge that. The worst thing you could do is go around pretending to yourself that everything's just wonderful. I'm just fine. All right, let's have a look here. What's the situation itself? Okay, so with the Star card, maybe you are in a situation where certain demands are, let's say, expected. Maybe you are a very natural, very caring, generous, giving person where you almost don't even think about money. You just love doing what you love to do, being who you are, and coming from a positive, healthy perspective. This indicates the energy of like living a life in a kind of community situation where so long as you surround yourself with talent, put yourself in a good environment with good people, with good values, good belief systems, then the community takes care of itself. You become valuable to a community setting, and a community setting provides reciprocal value to you. And that might be your natural default setting, which is very, very pure, and that's beautiful. But also with the Two of Pentacles here, it might indicate that this very kind of idealized situation, which is really how America used to work before 1913, America took care of itself. If you were down and out, someone would come up to you and say, hey, listen, there's a church around the corner and they can help you. Or, things like that. If you were having troubles or something, all we had is the community. You didn't have Social Security, food stamps, welfare, psychiatric counseling service. You didn't have any of that. And so if you have this kind of nature where you like to be in a reciprocal environment where you provide value and the environment provides value to you, and it's reciprocal, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. However, everything is vulnerable to upheaval and change right now because Uranus is transiting Taurus, the second house of money, big money, personal money, your finances. It's for the whole world. It's for everybody, regardless of your sun sign or money sign or whatever. So it's almost like you need to be aware of these two dynamics. If you are naturally of this type of character, where it's about mutually beneficial relationships, mutually beneficial environments, situations, lifestyle, and there's some sort of instability. The instability may come from within the community where something is falling apart in your sphere of existence, and that's creating instability in the financial dynamics. Or it could be literally an external influence on your way of being that is creating instability that would affect you personally for financial material things. For example, it could be anything. I don't have to go into details. You can figure that out. You're choosing a new home soon. Oh, okay. So you got to be extremely, extremely careful. You've probably been watching and studying a lot of things about mortgages and the housing market right now, because before I go into it, let me just share with you, I don't want to scare you or anything, all right? Getting a home. I've lived in a lot of different places. I've built a home, like a little 3-bedroom, suburban thing, built it from scratch. I lived in a mansion. I've been homeless. I've had apartments. Everything you can possibly imagine. I've lived in communes, everything. And I've helped quite a few people with their housing and mortgages and all that kind of stuff. For some reason I enjoy it. I'm not a financial expert. But anyway, so if you're choosing a home, understand that the American real estate market is very, 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 let's say, distressed at the moment. We've had astronomical inflation over the last 4 years, and that has provided huge distortions in asset prices, most notably the grocery store, gasoline, eggs, and housing. Houses, the housing market. There's a channel that I like. It's called Reventure Capital or something. Reventure, Reventure. And he focuses on national housing and local housing. And he's a very good resource. You might want to check into that, because there are zip code by zip code. You can get this app. He provides a certain app. You have to pay for it, but you can go right into zip codes and do a lot of analysis before you even have to go to Zillow or Realtor.com or wherever you're going to go shopping. And you can find the zip codes that have the highest level of price depreciation. Because you might not, unwittingly, you might end up looking at a place where it's basically overpriced. And I'm sure you also know about when you're shopping on Zillow, for example, you need to do the comps, the comparisons. So if you're looking at a house over in blah blah street and it's in blah blah neighborhood, you have to pull up the charts and the maps for the prices in the houses of all the other houses nearby. So if your house says it's $350,000, the one that you want, and every other house on the street is $300,000, you need to walk away immediately. However, on the opposite scenario, you might want to find a realtor who specifically specializes in foreclosures or distressed sellers, because there are a lot of distressed sellers right now. The housing market is flooded with houses that cannot sell. They cannot sell because most people don't have enough money, because the housing prices are so overinflated that it's not realistic. And so a lot of people are sitting back like, I'm not going to buy a house in this market. It's stupid. I'm going to wait for everything to crash. And then the owners of the houses are saying, I am not going to sell my house on a fire sale just because I want to sell it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sell my $500,000 house for $300,000. I'm not going to do it. Okay. There's another guy I like to watch specifically for Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is a very distorted market. What he does, he likes to show how stupid things are. So he usually picks a property like a luxury or a mid or low range property, and he does an analysis of the pricing. And what he often finds is that someone came in and bought a house, 2, 3, 5 years ago or something, or maybe years ago, and they watched the sticker price go up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and they think they're going to be millionaires. Like, oh, I bought it in 2020, what are we now, 2025? Oh, I bought it in 2021 and it was $220,000, and now it's on the the sticker price is $540,000. I'm rich. Problem is, no one's going to buy it. And so what happens is these sellers, a lot of sellers are desperate because a lot of sellers are naive about money, and they get into mortgages that they can't sustain. The foreclosure rate is very high. The repossession rate is very high right now because people's finances are crushed, and it's going to get worse. So I know someone who made it a point to get hold of a foreclosure. In other words, a seller who's literally, they've already wiped out, and the bank has foreclosed, and the bank doesn't want to keep the property, and so they're just going to dump it, and they're just for whoever was willing to pick it up, and it's usually at a very much cheaper price. So you might want to specifically hunt for foreclosures, okay? It's a little bit harder to do because it's all supposed to be like a shh. We don't want you to know that there's foreclosures on this street because it'll destroy the sticker price of all the other houses. It'll bring them down. So nobody likes to talk about disclosure. So you have to hunt. You have to do, and you might have to pay for specific, access to foreclosures. Or you could go to a bank and tell them, I want access to your foreclosure list, okay? You live, so anyway, yeah, it's crazy. If you're in Oklahoma, things are probably a lot more stable. I have friends and family around that area, and housing prices are not anywhere near as inflated, and they are typically a lot more stable and much less gyrations in, sticker price versus the selling price. So anyway, Reventure, Reventure, he has an app that specializes in finding basically the best deal out of the street that you would never have known was there. Interesting to note. Also, another thing about real estate, of course, is that if you do the math, here's another guy. It's called Living in Las Vegas, and he analyzes mortgages and how people get into really deep trouble with their mortgages because they do not understand the dynamics of a mortgage. You have to be incredibly careful and do a lot of homework on your mortgage if you have to get a mortgage. So just be extremely careful, okay? All right, let's go back to your reading. Come on, let's do this. Thirsty work readings. By the way, with foreclosures, a lot of times you don't even know that they're there because sometimes there's no signage, no markings, nothing. Sometimes foreclosures look like they are a dump. You maybe, the gutters are falling off and the siding is peeling off and the grass looks like, the garden looks like crap. That's all superficial stuff. If the house is sound and it's a foreclosure and it's a little bit trashed up inside, you might be able to get an amazing deal and then do a little bit of development from the inside. All right, let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Okay, balancing your finances, being very, very, very careful. Okay, let's have a look going forward. Challenges here. Yeah, you have to be extremely careful. What this is telling me is that there's a little bit of naivety here. There's a little bit of innocence. And there's a little bit of vulnerability for you, strings and things, where if you are not really super, ultra, hyper careful, you could easily get scammed. Okay? Just scammed up the eyeballs. Like the worst case scenario, buying the most expensive house on the street with the worst mortgage program. That's a disaster, okay? In an ideal scenario, if you want to maximize the situation, you would buy the crappiest looking house on a slightly less desirable street, and you would get it at a very, very discounted price, and you would aggressively negotiate a very good mortgage, okay, and so on. So you have to do a lot of homework. This is telling me that you are possibly naive, vulnerable, and that you cannot possibly do enough homework before you actually sign anything. Because what can happen is people get into it, 2 or 3, like adjustable rate mortgages, walk away. Okay? No down payment, walk away. All of those things are like time bombs. You have to be so incredibly careful. Got to be so careful. It's like almost like what I'm seeing here, strings and things, is just like, it's like the classic scenario of the used car dealer. Okay? You have to be extremely careful. Like, let's say you are talking to different realtors and different bankers and lenders and stuff, and they are coming at you with, they're very, very presentable. They're very, very good at the sales and the marketing and the language, and they're all dressed up. And hello, stranger, come on, I've got this little gem I want to show you around the corner. It's over here. It's perfect for you. And it's all pretty. That to me is a walk away situation. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to help you, okay, strings and things. If she says like, oh, you don't want to bother with that house over there, it's kind of run down and like, it needs a new roof, the boiler is shot, and it's been neglected. That's the one you might want to look at, okay? And then she's thinking, the realtor will be thinking like, damn, how am I going to make my commission? And all those things. You have to be incredibly, incredibly careful. All right. Especially today with heavily inflated prices. Realistically, a lot of houses are overpriced right now, almost wherever you go. That's why I mentioned the Reventure app, because that will fine-tune the searching so you can get to certain areas and streets and zip codes where the actual housing prices are below the mean, okay? And that would be a place to start looking, okay? Okay, so you have a lot of homework to do. A lot of homework. Basically so that you don't get scammed. Like the worst thing you could do is shop. It's like when you go to a restaurant and buy something just by looking at the picture of the menu, but you don't look at the price tag or the conditions. So you can't do that. You have to become ruthless, okay? You have to know every scam and trick in the book before they scam you and trick you, okay? Going forward, how do we do this? Okay, you're going to have to ask for divine guidance. Okay? Because it looks to me like, I don't want to hurt your feelings here, but it looks to me like this situation is not your natural environment. With this star card here, you might be more used to being in friendly communal environments, like friends and family who love each other and take care of each other, communities, environments, churches, sort of where the energy of benevolence, okay? And then when you go out into the bigger, wider world and you discover everything is full of sharks, snakes, crooks, monsters, thieves, it's very, very frightening. And then it means to me it's an extra important message that you have to hold on to your money extremely tightly and do a lot of homework before you sign anything. And to get there, trust your intuition, pray for divine guidance above and beyond just doing your homework. In other words, yes, you're going to have to like study the art of buying a house, things like that. You might have to watch YouTube videos. You might have to buy a couple of books. You might have to do preliminary examples. Like this is what I do with some of my friends, okay, that I've done. This is over many years, okay, where you do you play dumb, okay. You find a realtor. You have to learn how these things work. You go to some open houses, for example. Get used to going into open houses where the realtors, they might really hustle you or they might stay well back. You never know. But you got to learn how these realtors work and how the selling process works. And then, thank you for that brochure. Can I take that brochure with me? Oh, by the way, do you know any lenders who would be really good for this property? So you can play totally dumb and start collecting a lot of information and let the realtors and the bankers work you. Let them try to sell stuff to you. And then, of course, you say, oh, I don't think I'm ready right now. I can't. And then you walk away, but you learn a lot, okay? It's really good to practice. It's just like getting a car. It really helps to practice going into a car dealer, new or used, and dealing with the salespeople. Because if you knew what actually goes on in the process of selling cars, you would be shocked. It's the same thing with real estate. You have to be very, very careful and learn how it works so that you are not screwed over, okay? So to get there, protect yourself. Go into a state of prayer on the understanding that, yeah, I admit it, I might be vulnerable. I don't want to be vulnerable, and so I'm asking for divine guidance. Please, dear heavenly guardian angels, my invisible guides, my beautiful invisible friends, my loved ones from the other side, please guide me moment by moment, day to day, to where I need to be at the right time, at the right place, at the right reasons, with the right people, for the right circumstances, for the right house for me. Okay? So there's definitely an element of prayer and divinity here. It needs to be divinely ordained. Let's put it that way. So I hope that makes sense for you, strings and things. Yeah, you have to do... I'm sorry, it's a huge amount of homework to do this stuff. If you're just going to let yourself be guided by the benevolent salesperson, the realtor, and the lender, you're going to get screwed. Guaranteed. I guarantee it. So you have to do a lot of... You're just going to have to do a lot of preparation, okay? Thank you so much. I'm glad you got something out of it. You do not want to end up regretting. I mean, it's one of the biggest things you're going to do in your whole life. Honestly, for most people in America, it's the biggest thing. Buying a house. Putting your name on that loan, on that contract, on that title. Typically, it'll be a 20, 25-year, 30-year loan. So it's a huge commitment. All right. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that for tonight right now. I'm going to wrap out of here really quickly. I wasn't expecting such a full show tonight. Thank you for everybody for showing up. Thank you for the newbies. I'm sorry I couldn't read for everybody, but you kind of know the routine now. You can go to TarotLumination.com and book it directly there if you want. And I can do things by remote and then send you the video of your reading. Okay? So, let me see. Good night, strings and things. Good night, Tina. Good night, Gregory. Good night, Elizabeth. Who am I missing? There's others. There's all the... I can't remember who. The chat's too long. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. I've got to wrap this up. We've been here a long time. Gosh. All right, take care.